So after film school, a bunch of people from film school started this weekly work in progress screening series, and it was at this guy Christoph's house, and he would show a work in progress by some local filmmaker, and it was really fun, and it was a social event, but also a networking event, and just it was fun to see people's films. And at one of these screenings, I met this woman who was attractive. Her name was Melody, and she had edited the film Stranger Than Paradise, which was one of my favorite films of all time. And to meet the editor of Stranger Than Paradise was like meeting, cinema royalty. And, I started talking to her and we sort of became friendly friends, I guess. And we kind of went, I don't know if it was a date or not. In my mind, it was a date, but I don't know if it was a date in her mind. But she just had a baby, actually. And she got a babysitter and we went to see a movie. And we go to this movie and, we're having a good time. And on the way back, she wants to stop for gas. She was driving, partly because my car was like really shitty and was acting up and it wasn't seeming safe. So she said she could drive. So she has to get gas. So we pull over and she says, would you pump the gas? And, it seems like a very reasonable request in hindsight. But I was at this place in my life where like, I just didn't want to be told what to do. And I was just like really allergic to anything that resembled any kind of order or expectation or implicit assumption that somehow I should be doing something without having been, asked in a way that, gives me an out. And I just resented her assuming that I should pump the gas. Why? Because I'm a guy? Because I'm the passenger? Because she's paying for the gas by driving us? Those are all reasonable reasons to think that I should pump the gas. But I did not like the question or the tone of the question. It wasn't a question. It was a, borderline order question. And I just said, why should I? And she was like, excuse me? And I was like, why should I pump the gas? I mean, it's your car. And she's like, well, because I'm driving? I'm like, yeah, you're driving because my car was fucked up and you offered to drive. And she's like, I don't know why it's such a big deal for you to just pump the gas. It would just be nice of you. And I was like, yeah, but you're not asking me to do you a favor and pump the gas. You're just saying, would you pump the gas as if like, I owe it to you or something? And she was kind of horrified by my ungentlemanly behavior. And, in hindsight, I guess it sounds really bad, but I didn't want to do it. And we, got into a fight, I guess. And that was kind of the end of that. And we actually, didn't talk for a while. And then, kind of years later, we started talking again and we kind of became friends for real, like, friends. And I've never, ever spoken to her about this because I guess I was just embarrassed about it. Partly because, I behaved, in a embarrassing way, but also because, I guess there was some kind of implicit thing about, is this a date or not a date? And what are the rules around a date versus a non-date that I never wanted to like get into. But she's a friend and she listens to this podcast actually. So I think she'll hear this. And I apologize, Melody, for that moment. It was temporary insanity.